So if you see, let me go to EC2. Right now I have 0 instances. I will create a new instance and I will show how to install Artifactory in Ubuntu server. So Artifactory is nothing but, just imagine like how we are using Google Drive to store our images. In the same way, companies use this Artifactory to store their binary files. Binary files is nothing but jar or war files. Let me take the Ubuntu 20. Why I am choosing old version? Because old version will definitely be a stable version compared to the latest version. So Artifactory required minimum 2 GB of RAM. So I have written notes. I will provide these notes. I will push these notes to the GitHub. So try to create an account in github.com and try to give me your username so that I will give access to the notes. Right now it is public, but in coming days it will be converted into a private. So if you see, what are the prerequisites for the JFrog Artifactory? You should be need to choose at least 2 CPUs. So for that, instance type should be T2 medium or T2 small. So I will choose T2 medium. You can choose T2 small, but for me T2 medium, because it will be very fast. Key pair, security group. At present I'm giving all traffic, but in reality what you will do, you will open the ports for 8081, 8082 and SSH ports. SSH ports will be 22. And Artifactory, in order to work Artifactory, Java is compulsory. So Artifactory was designed using Java. So Java, first you need to install Java, then after you need to install Artifactory. Same like Maven, same like SonarQube. Without Java, SonarQube will not work. Without Java, Maven will not work. In the same way, without Java, Artifactory will not work. Let me click on launch instance. Go to instances. So yeah, right now I'm getting too many mails from Wipro for DevOps engineer role. So market was going to normal. Now not only DevOps, I'm getting too many emails for Java, React.js. Now let me give a name as Artifactory. That means market was getting normal. So in upcoming 2 to 3 months, market will completely be in normal, so that until that you can able to just wait for 1 month. After 1 month you can start attending the interviews, and I will guide you as well. And let me pass. So go to the folder where your PEM file is located. My PEM file is located in this Terraform folder. Let me git bash here. Terraform is also very important. So in the interview you need to tell, using Terraform I have created a total testing environment. Then it will create a big impact. So I too did the same. While attending the interviews in Wipro, they told me what you have done using Terraform. I said that I have set up total testing environment. Then he have asked how you have set up. Then after I have explained how I have created using Terraform. Then after he told me to write some Terraform files, basic Terraform files. I have written in the notepad. He told me to share my screen, and he have asked me to write Terraform. Then after he has asked me to write Docker file, he has asked me to write Jenkins file, and he has asked me to write a deployment file, that is Kubernetes. And he asked me to write an Ansible playbook as well to install a software. So now I log into the server, right? So first let me update the packages. Sudo apt update. but nowadays companies are focusing only Docker and Kubernetes. So if you know Docker and Kubernetes, you can blindly update your profile and can start attending interviews. Remaining tools anyway I'm going to explain, right? But at least you will be in a position to attend the interviews. They will first focus on Docker and Kubernetes. If you perfect in that, they will definitely hire you. Sudo apt install open jdk -11 -jdk -y. Then after wget you need to download the key. So today's task for you to do the same Artifactory installation, SonarCube installation, Jenkins installation, and after installing Jenkins you need to download the plugin related to SonarCube and Artifactory and try to configure Artifactory and SonarCube in Jenkins. So this is the task for you. If you do that, that is more than enough. Then after I will implement a pipeline using Artifactory and SonarCube. If you do this, and you can tell in the interviews. Anyway, I'm going to explain the roles and responsibilities in coming days. After completing this Artifactory setup, I will start the day-to-day activities of DevOps engineer, roles and responsibilities of DevOps engineer, what is the project you are going to work, you need to explain that, right? Introduce yourself, that part. Then after we can directly work on project. So whenever I provide the recording, right, just go through that recording and try to prepare a script accordingly. So no valid OpenGPQ data form. No, you cannot able to download. I have disabled that. So Artifactory installation. Let me search in Google. So if you see DevOps schools, let me try this. Or gigs. Let me try this. So these are the steps. Let me copy. Wget. So if you see now it has gone as okay, but previously it is not worked because it might be issue with the command. Okay. Sometimes your installation steps will be outdated. So what are the installation steps I have collected, right? It is 6 months old. So every time your steps may vary. So you need to search in Google and you can find out. Then anyway I will update the steps. So you just need to let me update this. only this one will be changed. I will explain the steps, you don't need to worry. So if you say it is downloading the JFrog artifact, until that let it download, I will explain this. So to run the Artifactory, we prerequisites was two CPUs, and you need to open the ports, and you need to have a Java 11 installed. So I have installed Java 11. Then after what I did, so I have downloaded the key related to JFrog Artifactory. Then after what I did, I have added information related to JFrog Artifactory. So in Linux we used to install using package managers called as apt. For Ubuntu you will use a package manager called as apt. For CentOS you will use yum. But coming to Artifactory, Artifactory information is not present in apt repository because Artifactory is a third party software. So in the apt repository the information related to Artifactory is not present. What apt will do, whenever you install apt install Jenkins or apt install Maven, what it will do, it will go and search for the information related to the Maven in the apt repository. So what we are doing here, I am adding the etc/apt/sources.list. Inside this /apt directory I am adding the information related to the JFrog Artifactory. So whenever you install sudo apt install JFrog Artifactory, it will go and search in this repository, in this folder, and it will download the JFrog Artifactory. Same thing here happening here. So first, then you will update the packages and you will install the JFrog Artifactory. Then you will start the Artifactory, and you will see the status of the Artifactory, whether it is working or not. And Artifactory is run on 8081 port. And SonarQube, which port SonarQube will run? Anyone know? Superb. Yes, yes. So you need to remember the port numbers. It will be helpful in the interviews. Jenkins? Yeah. JFrog? Yeah. So for Artifactory, yeah, 8082 you can add 8082. Like if you want to edit, you can change the port number as well. So you can use 8082 as well. But by default port is 8081. Yes, you can use, but you need to configure that. Yeah, if MongoDB is not installed, you can use. If the MongoDB was installed on the server, you cannot use. So if you see installation of Artifactory has completed successfully, then he is telling us to run these commands. Same thing I have added here. Now let me sudo systemctl start. Same command, but I have added sudo because Ubuntu is a normal user. In order to start any service, you need to have a permission. So sudo has a permission to do it. So it will take some time to start. Until done, let me copy the Then after we can check the status whether my artifact is working fine or not, or is there any issue. So here let me add sudo, I forget. So if you see, very simple, but in reality you will not do any installation, everything will be set up in the companies, but at least you need to have an idea how to set up in which port it is running. So if you see, I have followed the same steps, I have updated. So if whatever you want you can get from Google. Now what I need to do, it is run on 8081 port. Let me select copy, sorry, copy the public IP, eight zero eight one. So if you see it, yeah, I said right how we are using Google Drive for storing our images and all. In the same way, companies use Artifactory to store their binary files, that is jar file or war files. Yes. So why companies use Git? Do you have an idea? Yeah, in the same way here also we will build, right? Whenever you build, if you want to get a, if you want to track the versions, so whenever you build a jar file, it will be converted into a different version, and the different versions it will be stored as a version number. If you want to go back to the previous version, Artifactory will store in versioning format what are the war file or jar file. For suppose if you build the job, then you will generate a new artifact, nothing but new war file. So if you want to go back to the previous war file, so if you use Artifactory, it will store in the Artifactory, right? It will store as a versioning, different versions. So if you want to get the previous version, you can, anyway it will be available in the Artifactory, you can simply copy that URL, you can download and you can use. You can like you take the war file of old version. Yeah. Yes. So it should not ask. It should not ask, but I don't know. So it's a company name. Anyway, I'm going to discuss about these things. So just focus. The theoretical part will be discussed. I'm just showing the installation. In SonarCube, how you will generate a token? The same way you can generate a token in SonarCube as well, and you can copy this and you can use it as a password. Anyway, like just for like how now you can see JFrog. At least we are getting the dashboards. Just forget about this license. We doesn't care about the license. Whenever you install, at least you need to get this dashboard. And if you want to create the users, you can create your own user. But the total dashboard was changed. So if you see here, there is an option called as new user. Let me give a name called as demo. Before that, there is an option for creating the user. There is an option here, but if you see now the option from here to change it to here, you need to click on new user, demo user. You need to provide the email. Let me give demo user @demo.com. I doesn't care about email, password. So save. So if you say admin is a default user, now I have created a demo user. Then you need to define the user information in Jenkins so that whenever you create any jobs, artifactory will be the var file will be automatically come to this JFrog. That part will be discussed in tomorrow's session. For now, you need to know the installation, how to install JFrog Artifactory. So if you say JFrog Artifactory is the single solution for housing and managing all the artifacts binaries, packages, files, everything you can store. So as I said, right, what is JFrog? JFrog is a software company. It's a company name. What is JFrog used for? JFrog Artifactory is a repository manager that supports all available software package types, enabling automated continuous integration and delivery. So using Jenkins, whenever you create a var or jar file, you can directly store that var file in the JFrog Artifactory. That's it. There is no confusion. Companies comparing tools like GitHub and JFrog will often find that GitHub has an excellent solution for source code management, but has less robust solution for binary management, security and software distribution. So in GitHub, where you will just store the code, but in GitHub is not recommended to store the large files. So Artifactory will be in hundreds of MBs. So GitHub is just designed to store the code which are written by developer. But coming to artifact files, it will be in large size. So that's the reason companies go for JFrog. Yeah, you can keep that. But coming to var or jar file, it's a company application, right? You cannot keep the application in GitHub. So it is not, for security purpose, it is not recommended to use the GitHub. Yes, but GitHub is designed for storing the code. GitHub was designed to store the whatever developer written the code, to push the code they have written. But people, yeah, people will use. You can keep the var file or jar file in the GitHub, but it is not a good practice. For your personal purpose, if you want, you can kept and you can use. But coming to organization perspective, companies will not do that. So now you got some clarity how to install this JFrog Artifactory, why we use JFrog Artifactory. So do you want me to show SonarQube installation once again or no needed? Okay. Sorry, who is this? Yeah, who is this? Okay. Now, yeah, Raj, did you created an account in GitHub? Okay. Now my notes will be public from Docker. I will make it private. So for then I need to provide your username for access. So try to create the user, try to create an account and provide me the username so that I can give you an access. Jenkins Day14. So this is the SonarQube installation steps you need to follow step by step. Then you can able to do that. Now let me go launch instance. Yeah, you can do in the same server. But if something stuck application, like because you are running two big applications, that's the reason it will be better practice if you use other server. Then even if once one application fail, you will not get issue while doing practice. Sorry, your voice was breaking. Is this issue from my side? Yeah. Hello, am I audible? No, no. I said right. Your voice was breaking. Yeah. Now you can able to repeat. Of course. Now if you see, I'm staying in one town. Okay. In the same one town, my restaurant is also available. Shall I need to tell him to like address or not? Because we are in the same one town, he will know my home address. I need to provide the address, right? Then only he can able to deliver to my house, even if he is located in the same one town area. So in the same way, how Jenkins will know? Yes, yes. Jenkins is just a, you can treat as a elevator for the building. So if you go simply in the elevator, if you stand, will you go to your floor or you need to press the button where you want to go? It may be 14th floor, it may be 15th floor. You need to click at the end, right? So in the same way, you need to configure. Then only Jenkins will go and click on that button and you can go. Jenkins will get to know where it is located. I don't know what has happened. Yeah, Raj, try to see the recording which I have provided for SonarCube installation. Now let me try to install Jenkins and I will download the plugins related to JFrog and SonarCube. Then after that, directly in next session we can able to do practicals. If I have time, then I will show the SonarCube installation. Now, so you should not waste in the installation. Okay, in the companies you no need to install everything. You will work directly. So you should not worry about the installation. After installing, what is the process you are going to do? That is more important. Sudo apt update. Let me pass this After installing Jenkins, I will resume the recording because you know how to install Jenkins. So now if you see, I have started the recording. Now Jenkins I have set up. This is the dashboard of Jenkins, right? So one more thing I just want to share, like as I said, recently we have raised a ticket. One server was not working, right? So at that time I just noticed the difference between this service base and the product base. So whenever I raise a ticket, right, it's a 24/7 ticket. So it's a real time concept. That's the reason I'm just sharing, which I faced in my company. So during that time, like they have like people connected from Microsoft, and they are very like expert, and they know everything from scratch, from basic to advanced. So they will just start with basic. Like for suppose if I am facing an issue with VM, like why it is facing, they will observe and monitor. But I'm not talking about the technical part, but I'm talking about the comfortability. If you see, I have raised the ticket, but I need to available in the call. So but he will be available only for 8 hours. In that 8 hours, for nearly 2 to 3 hours, he will just do some time pass, and he will just right after 8 hours, what he will do, he will shift this ticket to some other guy. For explaining he will take 1 hour, but he is working for 2 to 3 hours mostly. Remaining 1 hour he will explain to whoever coming to the shift, next shift, and he will go away from his job. But if you see the comfortability, but coming to service base, I need to be available because it's a ticket of us from our side. So I need to, like, from morning, if you will not be able from morning 10 a.m. to night to 2 a.m. I am in the call in Teams. Nearly 2 to 3 people got changed in Microsoft from Microsoft team, but I need to stay in the call. Yes, my manager just testing whether I was in the call or not. He will just calling me during the night. Also, I'm just at 12 a.m. at 12 at that time also I cannot, like, they are just solving the issue, but at that time we are getting some idle time. So at that time also he is just testing whether I was there on the call or not. So that's a very, he is just calling directly in the call. Yeah, yeah, hi Devendra, are you there? Are you checking this? Like that he is telling. I need to respond because Microsoft team guy was present in that call. So, but yeah, but getting a job is very difficult in compared to service base. Getting a job in product, it's very difficult. But once you get a job, you will be having peaceful life, at least, because there is only 8 hours. After 8 hours, there is no one will disturb you because they are maintaining for every 8 hours different people for different shifts. Even something happens, even something happens anyway, there will be people who are available. For product based companies, you need to have definitely DevOps. Along with DevOps, you need to have a knowledge on programming language. Nothing but you need to have a development skill as well as DevOps. But it's very difficult. First, just it's a easy path is to just try to crack a job in big MNCs. From MNCs, you can go to the product easily because you have become a brand, because you are working on a company where it's already a brand. If you work on that company, you will become a brand. Then automatically, if you try in product, your profile will be selected. If the even if they will just observe the company name. So obviously they will choose a like person who already worked on a company, right? for suppose if there are two people are there, one is worked on startup, one is worked on Wipro. So they will first see that skill. Obviously they will first choose the skilled person. So in the HR's perspective, if it goes to HR's perspective for background verification, which will be very easy for them, MNC company, because MNC will do background verification very tough, but coming to startup, so that's the reason what they will do for ease, for their comfortability, obviously they will go for Wipro. They will choose a candidate belong to Wipro. If you see in the YouTube also, just search how to crack in product base, there will be many people who has worked in MNCs, then after they came to the product based company. So yeah, if you want to be technically strong, startup is a best option.